This episode of We Hate Anime is brought to you by our wonderful patrons over on Patreon. Special thanks to Nicole Carter, Kev Online, Vinegara, Katarasic, and Gachi. Without them, this podcast wouldn't be what it is, and we thank you sincerely. Join us over on Patreon today for as little as $1 a month if you can spare. And without further ado, on to the episode.
Holy crap. You know, I had an intro for this episode because I was worried it was going to be boring, and I don't even need to run that intro anymore.
Hello and welcome to the We Hate Anime podcast.
Hello and welcome to the We Hate Anime podcast. The only podcast where Moth gets to do what he wants and doesn't record an episode about anime.
What are we talking about? We did watch an anime, right, Doku?
Yeah, we watched. Let's here.
Well, no, let me introduce you guys. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, reporting from the Ukraine, we got Titty.
Hello. Yeah, my neighbors are getting shelled. It's pretty shitty. How are you doing?
You know, the funniest thing I think I saw was a post from some dude in Germany. He's like, just so that everyone's clear, for World War III, you want us, Germany, to march through Poland and fight Russians.
That's good.
No, we don't. Actually, we don't.
So with us, as always, the person this episode is about, the soon-to-be father, Sudoku.
It's me. I'm here.
It's him.
And actually,
I let this happen.
you let this happen. and then for the first time ever, we're actually bringing our editor along because he has a better audio recording setup than the rest of us. So everybody give it up for Lardo.
Hello.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I feel like I have PTSD now.
So we watched Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone. Tid, what did you think of Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone?
It's a 40-minute special episode, and calling it a movie is an overestimation. And quite honestly, I don't know why you made me do this. It fucking sucks. It was boring. Why are we even here?
Dead Zone's fun. It has some good like Jackie Chan like moments.
All right. So in all actuality,
This isn't a joke. Tid and I actually did watch Dead Zone.
Yeah, we did.
It's great because the movie we just got done watching is The Life Zone.
Moth,
Yeah.
The plan was we were going to agree to watch Life Zone, and then instead of watching Life Zone, we were just going to watch DragonAll Z Dead Zone and not tell you until we recorded.
Yeah,
And then
but
you had
that-
to buy the movie, so we're like, fuck, we
Okay,
have to
so-
do it now.
So here's the actual story. So like a few weeks ago, I woke up from a fever dream, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I remember like a Saw Fundy anti-abortion movie, and I went to like 7 or 8 Discords. I was like, "Hey guys, do you remember like a Fundy Christian movie, late 2000s, early 2010s, about a bunch of women who are forced to have like pregnancies against their will by a bunch of like psychotic OBGYNs?" And honestly, that seems like a pretty good descriptor for a movie. And nobody knew what it was called. Like, absolutely no one. They're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I swear I'm not crazy here. And Mike, out of nowhere, Mike is like, oh yeah, you mean The Life Zone. And I'm like, what?
You may
like-
take Mike out of the South, but you can't take the South out of Mike.
Well, that's the thing. So, like, the reason Mike's not on this episode is I explicitly asked him not to be on it because he'd already seen the movie. But, like, just out of nowhere, he's like, oh, yeah, you're talking about The Life Zone. And I'm like, how did you know that? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, I went through my, like, Reddit atheist phase. And I guess that's, like, a really popular kicking bag movie for atheists, and I kind of see why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
So I was looking for it, and I spent like a week looking for it legally, or like illegally. So like I checked torrents, I checked streaming sites. It's not even on, like, I can't even buy it on Amazon Prime Video or anything.
At
Like,
some point during the process, Moth had just an entire breakdown in the Discord server, just like, I can't find this movie. This is the lost treasure of film.
This is the lost treasure of Christian media. And so finally, I just went on eBay and I found one copy. Just one. On like, I think I went to like Silk Road or whatever that one that artists use is called. Macaru or something.
Big Sif.
Mercari. I went to like Mercari, I went to Amazon. Eventually I just had to go to eBay. And it was like one copy of the movie for like $5.27. It cost more to ship it than it did for the movie.
You know, I could probably make a 1-hour trip to Maurice's in Oklahoma City and find it there.
Yeah, but with the cost of gas right now, you would have spent more money than I did.
That's true.
The fucked up thing is that me and Doku were like fully set to just ignore Moth here and watch Dead Zone instead, but the fucking pains this man went through to get this shitty escape made me think, well, I would feel bad if he just went through this for nothing. Like, let's suffer with him.
He had to crawl through glass. You don't want to spit in the wounds while you're at it.
It's like that scene from Heavy Rain where you just have to like force the dad to crawl through stuff.
So you were desperately trying to get someone else to record this podcast with you.
Dude, none of you were doing it, and so I was literally like contacting everybody I knew. Like I was contacting like Technical Dave. I was contacting like Sir Artwork. I was contacting everybody, like trying to get somebody else to record this episode with me.
So
honestly,
I was like, okay, fine. If you can get Egg or Tid to do it with you, I will also do it. And then when I sent that message, I then sent Mike a message saying I have a plan to bamboozle Moth.
No, everyone was not like against doing this movie, but everyone expected like, oh, this movie is just gonna suck. It's just gonna be like a boring thing that nobody cares about.
That's the fucked up thing. Like, I expected this movie to be fully boring and just, 80 minutes of nothing, but it turns out it was actually a more enjoyable watch than the fucking Dead Zone, which is boring movie where nothing happens.
Although, like, you know how I would describe this movie? This movie, so like the total runtime I think is 77 minutes, not counting the credits. This would be like if you watched a train, just like you thought you were watching a video about like just trains driving across like just railroads, and then in the very last 2 minutes, the train just smashes into a toddler on a trike. Like, I have never been kicked so hard in the kneecaps by an ending in my life, and we'll talk about it.
Nothing happens for most of this movie, and then you accidentally skipped ahead 5 seconds, and someone had a fetus sign on their belly.
Yeah.
Genuinely, the first like 10 minutes of this movie is a woman like walking through an 8-foot-long room with a ton of like dollar store Mary dolls just all around the floor.
Mother Mary, this whole movie probably cost like a total of $12,000 to make. And this is the thing, we talked about this, like, I at some point I was like, okay, we're just watching, and we'll dissect this whole movie, but it's like, we're just watching this, like, sequence, and another sequence, and another sequence. I'm gonna skip ahead, and VLC jumps, like, by, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I jump 5 seconds, and it goes from, like, this random anti-abortion interview to this woman, like, laughing hysterically while eating shit out of a jar with a sign on her stomach that says fetus.
With a smiley face.
So I think we need to talk about this production company.
No, for sure. Before we do that, though, Moth, you said that the movie cost like $12,000. Wasn't it like Doku who said that it was actually like over $1 million?
Yeah, the budget was 1.5 million.
They spent all that.
Go?
They spent all that money on food and nothing else. Halfway through, the editor just gave up and just hit like the default fade transition on every single scene.
No, they spent all that money on that one dude who's won like 2 Oscars.
Yeah, and really wanted the eggs.
Okay, so this is a typical fundamental Christian movie, and the first thing I'm going to say is this us reviewing this movie is not an attack against Christians.
It is.
Everybody on the podcast knows
I'm going to kill
Moth.
God.
Everybody who's a longtime listener to this podcast
Attack
knows
and
who I am.
dethrone God.
And there are actually a lot of really good Christian movies out there that you can watch. Major Pain, Fireproof.
Fireproof is not a good one.
Veggie Tales, Save Christmas.
Yeah, VeggieTales. Like,
okay, VeggieTales owns.
Left
there's
Behind, I don't fucking know.
There's some legitimately good like Christian media out there. Like, this is not one of them. The reason I picked this movie is because it is not one of them.
Xenogears, the Bible.
Evangelion.
This movie is like one of those like, really bad YouTube movie reviewers who are just like, I owned this Christian debate movie, just like constantly just like saying the same arguments over and over. Except this movie isn't even a good target for that because it goes so off the wall insane halfway through that
it thwarts its own point over and over
its
again.
own point 20 times, and so it has to fall back on, oh no, this is hell.
Wait, you can't give away the plot of the movie.
That could have been a metaphorical thing. You're the one who gave it away.
Yeah, that was you. So this production company called Justice for All.
I didn't know that was the name.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Justice for All, and then they literally did a movie called Blue Lives Matter.
In 2017. They made a movie called Blue Lives Matter.
They are not big. How did this movie cost $1.2 million to make? They must have offered fucking Cobra Kai dude $1 million for his like 5 minutes on screen where he's just screaming at pregnant women.
They just bought the world's
They
most
didn't have to
expensive
pay him
eggs.
for that.
They had the lead Cobra Kai teacher from the original Karate Kid as a character in this movie.
Yeah, and apparently he is an Academy Award winner, which is always like, it's always weird to me when you look at like the list of Academy Award winners. You're like, oh, Nicolas Cage, what?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage won an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
And he
Honestly, I was
deserved
talking
it.
about.
I mean, he's a good actor. I like
Well, no, I
him.
was talking to my wife about it last night. Like, I would honestly say, and I'm not super fond of Nick Cage. Like, I haven't had to like watch every single one of his movies. Like,
Yeah.
he is probably the most accomplished actor of all time.
The dude just likes acting. He'll
Like
be in
Willy's
fucking
Wonderland.
anything.
The dude just loves movies.
Yeah.
Honestly, Nick Cage sold Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
What
Absolutely.
the fuck is Willy's Wonderland?
You've never seen Willy's? Dude, you would love Willy's Wonderland. Dude, oh my god. No. Okay, I know this is about the Christian abortion movie, Sudoku. I have got to get you to watch Willy's Wonderland. Knowing you will love that movie. It is so fun.
It's connected. Willie needs to be in Wonderland before he can get an abortion movie.
Yeah. It's part of the...
Gosh dang it. That was the wittiest thing ever, and I did not expect it from you.
Why? Fuck off!
Well, it was like a bunch of like English puns, and I don't know.
Wow, Kamrat, you think I do not speak English? Wow.
I do not just speak at the.
You think we have no education in Netherlands? Huh?
I like how you switched to Italian.
You only speak Hebrew, as we all know.
It's funny that we talk about Willy's Wonderland because the entire time it's like a pregnancy movie, and for some reason the entire time I just kept thinking of the time that Moth just posted Roxanne Wolf images in the Discord. I just kept thinking, call me Purple Guy because I'm about to put a child inside that suit the entire movie.
So yeah, this movie is something special. So here's the premise. All right. So 3 women all went to get abortions, and while they were under anesthesia, they straight up kidnapped them. And what's so interesting about this movie is, as the movie goes on, it doesn't make sense until the very end. Everyone is aware that these women have been kidnapped. Like, the federal government is aware, their families are aware, like, everybody is aware these women have been kidnapped and are being held. And, like, the most gumshoe detective could just call Panera Bread and find out where these women are. Because that whole movie is just women eating sandwiches. Barefoot women in nightgowns eating sandwiches. This is like the writer's barely disguised
They're all
fetish.
eating veggie sandwiches because it's very important that this is a vegan movie.
Is it a vegan movie, or are you just making stuff up?
I'm not making stuff up. So there was a scene near the beginning of the movie with where they all have that nightmare with
Yeah,
with
there's a bunch
Nazi
of meat
symbolism.
processing.
Yeah, that has all that meat processing stuff. Did you see them eat a single piece of meat in this whole movie?
The
No,
eggs.
they're like-
the eggs.
Eggs, yeah, they ate a
Eggs.
bunch of eggs.
Okay.
There was an entire scene where that guy ate a thing. Also, real quick, you said that nightmare scene was at the beginning of the movie. That was like mid to late movie. It's just that nothing
that was
happened
like-
at the
I'm
beginning.
going insane.
Nothing happened
so-
at the beginning.
So this is the premise of this movie. It was actually like bordering on M. Night Shyamalan level. You would have a sequence where the women argued about the viability of a fetus, and then you'd switch to a bunch of like just audio that they grabbed off, like video that they grabbed off YouTube of people arguing about abortion, and then they would then immediately jump back to like 15 minutes. And I was telling them while we were watching this, there's like this weird subgenre. And Titty, have you ever been to like an internet cafe in Poland that was like run by?
Well, when I was a teenager, absolutely.
Okay. If you ever get the chance again, I don't know if it's still like this, but it was like this 10 years ago. Go into one that's run by an African immigrant, and I'm being dead serious here. Like, this was super popular in Germany. Go to one that's run by like an African immigrant, and they will have a selection of DVDs on the shelf that are just like, Big Love Brother 14 and so, and it sounds like porn, but it's not. It's just like these movies that are filmed by these like tiny companies in Johannesburg, Africa, where they just like rent out a favela for a weekend, and then they just have like their wives play tennis, and they waste the entire budget on their wives playing tennis. That's what this movie feels like.
I'll be honest, when it comes to internet cafes in Poland, one, they're fucking defunct because we have affordable internet and it's not needed anymore. And two, whenever you went to one, it was just a computer with StarCraft and Counter-Strike installed, and that was it. There wasn't even any internet, it was just a fucking LAN party.
r/male living space.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this whole movie is sequences where women argue about the viability of pregnancy, switch to a weird flashback every so often, and then like switch to just like CNN level debates. And the funny thing is they weren't even accurate debates because like nobody interrupted each other once.
Yeah.
There was also that one debate where it was just like these two people agree. It's like, yeah, abortion's fine. And then they were like,
Yeah, it's totally
what's
fine.
wrong
There's
with
nothing-
the picture here?
And
They
no,
were like,
and no, the funniest part about that is that immediately after that debate where they both agree with each other, you have the main bad guy just say to the main cast, "Why aren't you getting it? Why do you still believe these things?" As if like anything was said, even though both the people on screen agreed with the opposite.
And
Also-
I think the two best parts about it though is the one right after that scene happens, the main doctor woman, because there's a cast of about 5 characters in total. The main doctor woman looks at the camera and says, "We promised you we'd show you both sides of the debate." And like, I just.
so I think
And then
we
on top of that, the movie doesn't end with a good message. Like we'll get to the ending later, but like, at no point does anybody really become convinced or change their mind. They're just forced to deliver babies.
Okay, I think we need to go through a synopsis of this movie, and then at the end,
I'm
talk
trying
about
and I'm failing.
talk about our favorite scene, and then our favorite line.
We all know what our favorite line is.
We all know what it is. It's not even a question. No, we all watched this movie. What was it? 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, in
I don't
Discord.
remember.
In the distant past.
We have an episode notes channel that's just like, post stuff that you want to talk about. As soon as that came up, there were like multiple of us just posted the line. It was so perfect.
Holy crap.
I have to admit, I admire a movie that just tells women that they shouldn't speak unless spoken to like 5 times.
He said it 5 times. And he was treated as the moral high ground of the movie.
That's
Yeah.
well, that like so something, and we really need to get to the end of this movie so we can just break it down because I've never been whiplashed so hard in my life. So this dude has been an impertinent dick the entire movie. Like he was a dick to these women, and it didn't make sense. I'm like, why is this guy the good guy? And then you find out that he is
Hold on, we're not there
literally
yet.
the opposite of a good guy. But yeah,
We're not at the end yet.
are we gonna talk about Joker's poltergeist?
We'll talk about Joker's Poltergeist in a minute. So the whole movie, nothing fucking happens except there's these 2 girls that are like basically immediately are like, oh yeah, abortion's bad. What was I doing? What was
Yeah,
going
that's
on?
a terrible idea.
Then there's one that was like, wait, hold on. Abortion's like okay, bruh.
Bro, it's fun, bro.
And then that's the whole arc, the whole movie.
Well,
She's just like,
let's talk about why she was okay with abortion. She was okay with abortion because she got pregnant and her boyfriend left her for getting pregnant with his kid.
No. You're thinking of the doctor.
Waste.
Right now, Sudoku's
No.
talking about
No.
No. The doctor could not get pregnant, so her husband left her for a younger woman.
Dude,
Dude,
okay, I
absolute
say this in
Keemstar
the
moment.
most respectful way possible. All these women look the exact same. I cannot tell the difference between them.
No. You had 2 types of women. You had pouty faced brunette
And blonde.
and you had way too much makeup blonde.
Way too much makeup. I got confused so many times because they all look the exact same. Like they'll have flashbacks, but they'll look the exact same as they always do, with like maybe slightly different clothes. That's another thing. They all wear the exact same clothes except for the doctor, so that's even more confusing.
They're all wearing nightgowns
Yeah, true. It was just like
for 7 months.
it was so hard to keep track of the movie because it would just be like, despite it all taking place in a single room, it was just like so much repeating of the exact same things, like the exact same talking points, that at some point it's just like, I don't know what's going on, I just like the misogyny.
Honestly, there was a lot of padding in this movie. I think the total movie runtime is 77 minutes. And if you really got down to brass tacks, this could be like a 48-minute Hallmark special.
It
Where like
could
you have
be.
3 commercial breaks.
You could just take the last like 5 minutes of the movie. It would be a better experience, honestly.
Well, no, like honestly, I've never been kneecapped by a twist so hard in my life, and I'm not kidding. it comes out of nowhere. It makes zero sense. It doesn't like.
So
it-
the
it
end of the
is-
movie, all
Yeah, let's-
3 women go into labor at the same exact time.
Yeah, the same moment.
Which I want to
so
say,
freaking-
I called that previously in the movie. Like midway through, they were talking about how like, so one of these women had like, they like almost died, and they started getting interrogated by the higher ups. Just like, was this an abortion attempt? Was this an abortion attempt? And they
Yeah,
started,
because she jumped off a step ladder.
yeah, and that started being like a plot line. Like, oh, are they actually trying to kill themselves? And I said like mid movie, oh, they just got to coordinate their births to happen at the same time. They can't get all of them at once. And then it happened.
And they do.
And
It's
then they
super
did.
knocked-
I think I just all right. So let's
Okay.
talk about Jigsaw real quick here, real fast.
Yeah.
So there's 5 characters in the movie. There's 3 women who are forced to be pregnant against their will and are in no situation to have miscarriages. Because like the room is basically they have a small hospital room and they have a kitchen and there's no bathroom at any point in the movie. Like that was freaking me out. They're told if they try to leave the facility, they'll get 10 feet out and a neurotoxin in their brain will kill them. So hey, you know, save the baby's life, not the mother's. They
Well, no,
they
it
get told
won't
like
kill
they
them.
can't.
They'll
It'll just knock them out.
knock
Yeah,
them
but
out.
they said that they're out in the freezing cold, so if they
Well,
get
yeah, they said
knocked
that-
out, they're just gonna freeze to death.
No, they said that they would go get them and bring them
Yeah.
back.
So
Bring
they're
them
being-
back from the snow.
They're being held by Mr. Lotion, I think was his name.
Lation.
Lation, Mr. Lation. So they're being held by Mr. Lation against their will, and Mr. Lation is just like jigsawing it. He's sitting at a desk. He's got like the freaking theme from Willy Wonka's tunnel going behind him, and you know, you got this woman. She's an OBGYN. She's like, I am here to make sure you guys don't make the mistake of having an abortion. And her whole thing is empty carton syndrome, where she waited too long to have a kid, and her parents basically disowned her. They're like, of course you can't have a kid. You're 40. What good are you as a daughter? And she's like an accomplished board-certified OBGYN of 30 years.
Yeah, her dad just goes, I always wanted a grandchild. How could you do this to me?
How can you say this isn't your fault? I never saw you exercise and I just could feel Moth perking up in this moment.
One day the daughter just woke up and the parents just went, I can sense menopause in you. I'm so disappointed.
To be
so-
fair, that was the most mothcore scene I've ever seen.
Yeah, Moth was on the verge of a lot of things this entire movie. If they did introduce the bathroom like he asked, it would have been too much. They couldn't cater to
There's the
everything.
point where you got like barefoot pregnant women in nightgowns. It was over for me.
You say Verge, I would say Edge.
Yeah. I do think it's important, by the way. We keep calling him Jigsaw. This movie is definitely, like, Saw in nature. Like, they stay in, like, one room. Didn't it come out, like, around Saw 6? Or so?
Yeah, like 2011.
Yeah. So,
I think my favorite thing is on the box that I have right here. There's a quote that says, like all great horror films, it has a shocking twist. And you know what? Yeah, it does. Because we were trying to figure out the entire time how Jigsaw was a good guy. All right, let's because
Is it
we're
time
even
to talk
teasing
about
this.
Okay,
Yeah.
what was it? No,
Yeah.
we're not yet. We're not there quite yet. So,
Okay,
so the
okay.
3 women, they're giving birth. 2 of them, they give they give birth to healthy babies. I don't think we ever get a gender, but as Christians, they're probably boys.
No. Yeah, they're both boys because both girls are like, oh, we brought a boy into this world, yay patriarchy.
Let's go. So, and then the third one, the one that was on the fence about abortion, has
twins.
twins.
yeah.
And
she was
has
the
done-
most pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
literally.
she's the most against it.
She has twins, and then it cuts to a shot of the 3 women in their beds. The 2 women who
And 2 of them are happy mothers.
2 of them happy. One of them is the third one is just laying in the bed, holding her stomach, talking about how much pain she's in.
And how much she hates her babies.
Yes.
And then the
Yeah.
doctor comes over, puts like a vial of blood on the nightstand next to her, and she's like,
Which is the most realistic looking blood I've ever seen in a
It
movie.
was- yeah, it was actually pretty
It probably
realistic.
is just blood. Like, it's not that hard to get a blood sample from somewhere. I have a whole cabinet.
That's weird.
Go on.
So she lays down on the bed and was like, this is impossible. This can't happen. This is impossible. She says that like 4 times.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
no.
what?
The lady goes, what isn't? And she just responds, you can't.
And then she says, you're pregnant.
after just giving birth. She is the world's most pregnant woman.
Just gave birth to a twins and got knocked up again. What a fucking slut.
All of us are like wondering if this is an Immaculate Conception reference, like at this point.
Yeah.
It's not, no.
And then she's the woman is like, how could that have happened? I just gave birth. And then Mr. Lation goes up on the screen and is like, yes, it is impossible. But it's possible in hell.
In hell. And then the two other ladies turn their heads immediately to the doctor
Like,
and the anti-baby lady, just like, oh, and there's a stinger
in
sound.
perfect Exorcist appearance too, like the perfect Exorcist head twist and everything. That was like the best acted moment in the movie.
And then a scene later, they're fucking gone and all the crosses are reversed and it's the Peter's cross.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. But and then like this was delivered as if it was a high school stage production. The doctor lady looks at the camera and goes, "I committed suicide," and the other woman's like, "I died under amnesia in the abortion clinic."
Anastasia, not amnesia, motherfucker.
Yeah, she's like, I died at the abortion clinic, and then like the guy, turns out he's Satan, which makes sense because the dude's been an irrevocable dick the entire movie. Is like, yes, hell for you is not being able to have a baby, and hell for you is always being pregnant.
Yeah, he literally just said, you had menopause and committed suicide. You will always have to deliver this baby forever.
No, and honestly, I've never been, no joke, I've never been hit with a twist so hard in my entire life. Like, we were so bored out of our mind when it happened. I was just like, oh boy.
She was the nostalgia doctor. She kept delivering babies for others so she didn't have to have one.
No, genuinely, when you said that thing about like that lady's like, I committed suicide, I didn't even hear that. I was too busy laughing so hard. I genuinely lost like every sense of cohesion because I just wasn't prepared for that.
None of us were. I just, holy crap! Like I'm a little bit sad that we ruined this for our audience, but at the same time, like I'm pretty sure I have the only copy left in existence.
That's the thing, like, you can't talk about this movie without like bringing up the ending, because every other part of the movie is just like the most boring thing imaginable. Without the ending, honestly, I don't even think this movie would be nearly as good.
Dude,
honestly,
those 75 minutes like ended that 2-minute ending perfectly, and it's so funny because I was expecting a Hallmark ending where they all like were like, I guess I've decided to have a kid, and then like the woman who didn't want the twins are like, I'll give one to an adoption agency run by good Christians, and I'll let the doctor have the other one. Like, I honestly expected that to happen, to be like, okay, see, even if you don't want a kid, it's still viable. It's like, nope, kneecapped.
It's so funny because they spend the entire thing just saying like both sides of the debate. This is a very important debate, and at the end they're just like, we have nothing left to debate. You're in hell and die.
Well, and that's actually like the most Christian part of the entire movie was the absolutionism.
Yeah, they don't they don't actually they don't actually bring up any real talking points from like any real pro-choice talking points.
No, they do. They really like talking about the magical transformation from a fetus to a baby.
That's the only one they bring up.
It's the only one they have.
You weren't listening, but the girl who's in hell actually she hit a lot of the pro-choice points.
She does, but the writer doesn't understand what those actually mean.
Yeah.
So they're just like empty words that mean nothing.
Yeah, she comes off as a bratty teenager most of the time. But I just want to say, sorry, Moth, I just want to catch you off for a second. Even if there was this no kneecap ending, even if it's a Hallmark ending, what's fucked up is that we still enjoy it more than the Dead Zone.
So real quick though, and I hate this. Whenever especially Christian movies should know better. Like I get it if Hollywood makes this mistake, but like Hallmark Christian movies shouldn't make this mistake. The upside down crucifix is not actually satanic. It's in reference to Peter, who when Peter was sentenced to death, they were going to crucify him, and he didn't think he was worthy to die like Jesus. He's like, I'm not worthy enough to die like Jesus. Can you crucify me upside down?
I mean, a pentagram is a sign of protection, which unifies all 5 elements, and is from Chinese alchemy. So yeah, Christians don't know shit. Yeah,
I thought it was just the Star of David.
No, Sarah David has 6 points. Fuck off, Moth.
Wait, what?
Star of David
No.
and Pentagram are two different things, Moth.
No, they're not, because in Trauma Center you draw a Star of David to slow down time.
I have
No,
a
you
buddy named
don't.
David. He's pretty cool.
Star of David is 2 triangles. A pentagram has 5 points. It's a
Yes,
different thing.
and you draw a Star of David to save people's lives in Trauma Center.
No, you draw a pentagram. It's 5 pointed. Holy shit.
Moth, Trauma Center is a Shin Megami Tensei game. You draw a pentagram.
Wait, it's
you-
a Shin Megami Tensei game?
Yes.
You can't
I thought
draw.
it was made by Capcom because it just felt like Phoenix Wright.
No, it's
Additionally-
technically a SMT spinoff.
You can't
Wait,
draw a
seriously?
Star
Yes.
of David with a single stroke. What the fuck?
It's an Atlas game.
Of course,
Oh, start-
of course, Christianity discussions devolve into Shin Megami Tensei discussions. That's the natural order.
Oh gosh, yeah. So that actually drove me nuts when like the girls disappeared and you learned that they were demons all along and that they had the upside down crucifixes. I'm like, come on, you know better.
You know, I'm glad that this movie admits that Christians side with the devil. I'm glad they admitted to that.
What?
Well, all pro-life arguments were also said that they are correct by the devil, as is revealed at the end. So therefore, their points are the same.
Yeah,
Therefore,
you-
this
that-
is a Satanist cult.
You know, in order to get that twist, you pretty much did have to throw Christianity out the window, like
Yeah.
baby with the bathwater, literally. I just, oh my gosh, I honestly, you know, I was a little bit worried in the first 15 minutes of the movie while you're watching because I'm like, man, did I get a stinker? Did I just?
I
fall
mean,
asleep?
this whole
That's
day,
what I expected.
this whole day I've been dreading watching this movie because I was like, this is going to fucking suck. This episode is going to suck because this movie is not going to be fun.
I
Yeah, it's
joined on
gonna
a
be boring as
complete-
shit.
I joined on a complete whim. I was going to be editing a video instead of doing this, but I thought, I'll join. Why not? Hang out with my friends.
And I
then
am
saw the
completely
most-
rejuvenated.
Okay, let's. Oh, gosh, let's just talk about the favorite quote because we keep forgetting.
Okay, no,
Okay,
okay,
so-
we're going to do favorite scene first and then favorite line.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
first,
two
separate
quick
things
thing.
now.
I think we forgot to mention that throughout the entire movie, like very periodically, the guy who now we know is Satan would just keep coming on and making fun of the women for
And
not.
verbally berating them.
Yeah, and the main thing he would do was at the beginning he got really angry and he would say, "You do not speak. You only speak when spoken to, and I give permission." And he says this like 3 times.
But
And-
if you notice, he never says it to the two demons.
He never. Oh my god! I
oh
did,
man,
oh my
this movie
god!
is
Oh,
genius.
the depths of this movie.
Yeah, he never yells at the two demons. He only yells at the pregnant woman, and then he yells at the doctor for like failing to do her job in hell at one point.
So, Lardo,
Yes.
what is your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, oh, that's a tough one. Because here's the thing. A lot of the movie did not work. It just didn't do anything.
No
Okay,
shit.
Take the ending sequence out of the movie. Like,
Yeah,
you
okay,
cannot
take the-
say
okay.
that's your favorite.
Ending sequence out of the movie, not counting the line. The line, I'm going to save that. But my absolute favorite scene, God, I thought it was just like the funniest thing where it's just like, 'cause it's just so stupid when that one lady was just like, you know, I'm a bit offended that she wanted to talk to her family alone. That the kidnapped victim wanted to speak to her family alone. We shared
so-
our families,
So
and then you learn
context
she's
here.
fake.
So context here. This is great. They, like I said, everybody knows these women are being held against their will until they give birth, and you find out about halfway through when the family starts sending like DVDs to them, like, "We're so proud of you for having this baby," blah 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 blah, and they get to the girl, you know, the only one who's actually there in hell, and she's like, "Hey, can you guys leave the room? I want to listen to this video from my sister alone." So that's the scene you're talking about.
Yeah, and then like,
Yep.
and one of the hell demon ladies is just like, I'm so offended. We shared our families. Why does she want to see hers alone? Why is the kidnap victim not more sensitive to our feelings? It's so funny.
All right, so that Titty Winks. What's your favorite scene?
Oh boy, my favorite scene is probably when, after the doctor is berated by her parents for daring to have menopause, she calls her husband to say, "You know what, I'm pregnant." And he says, "No, you're not. You can't have children. You're fucking dry as coochies and incapable of producing it. By the way, I'm fucking this 20 years old. Her feet are on my dick right now. I need a family at Hex Up." Like, perfect.
This was also
ideal alpha male.
This was
Sigma
also
rights.
the point of the movie where Tid learned who Keemstar is.
Yeah, Tidu asked, like, who's Keemstar? And immediately it was just, don't worry about it. Also, I want to say... oh, you
I still don't know.
Oh no, that was the Keemstar moment. That was the moment where it's like, and then I had to explain to him like, yeah, because Keemstar a few months ago, and I couldn't find the tweet. I was looking for it while we were watching the movie. He got in a lot of heat because he broke up with a girl for like turning 26, and then and by the way, Keemstar is not an ideal male. Like he has to wear a hat because he's balding. He's a dwarf. Like, you know, if I'm gonna go like full eugenics like physiognomy here, Keemstar is every red flag on physiognomy of what you shouldn't look for in a man.
Yeah, like most
I need
fascists.
to clarify, not only do I disagree with this man's opinions, I also think he's ugly.
Yeah. So it's honestly, dude, attractive people are never wrong.
Yeah, I know. I'm never wrong. That's true.
But like, so he had just been in a lot of water because he was like, yeah, I dumped my girlfriend, and if you remember where you were during 9/11, you're too old for me. And so like everybody ripped on him for that, and then the next day he doubled down and posted a picture of like an egg carton with one egg left in it. And he's like, "Do you now see why I don't like older women?"
Do you now see?
Oh god, this hurts.
He has a
My
daughter,
fiance-
by the way.
Yeah, he does. And the one time I actually watched him go like thermonuclear is Shadman drew a picture of his daughter licking a DS cartridge or a Switch cartridge.
Yeah, that was
And
weird.
Keemstar like actually sent legal litigation, and this is in Christianity we have a term for this calling God lets the evil kill each other sort of thing. And so when you have like Shadman going up against Keemstar, I mean that's perfect. You just get two evils knocking each other out.
All right, Moth, what was your favorite scene?
I got two sequences, but let's let Lardo go next.
I already
Lardo
said
first.
mine.
Lardo already went.
You mean
What?
Sudoku? He did it again. Okay, no. I gotta get this out right here, right now. For the past 3 months, Moth would just constantly confuse. No, he still does it. He just confuses me and Sudoku. Like he'd be like making discriminations, and he'd tag Tidu, Mike, Sudoku, and then he'd go, and also our editor, Sudoku. We gotta watch this.
Man, I'm just really proud of you, Lardo, that you managed to get your boyfriend pregnant. That's really impressive.
Yeah, no. Okay, when Sudoku announced his like pregnancy on the thing, Moth rebranded the entire like podcast Discord to just be like, "Congratulations, Lardo, for getting his boyfriend pregnant, for becoming a father." And it happened for a week straight. No one corrected him because we thought it was a bit. Where he's just like, "Oh wait, it was Sudoku."
All right, Sudoku, what was your favorite scene?
I'm surprised you didn't send a payment to Sudoku for a video yet.
So my favorite scene was okay. So real quick, we gotta talk about the producer for this movie,
The producer.
Ken Del Vecchio. Vecchio? Oh, it's fucking Italian.
This whole movie's Italian.
This whole
The dude
movie
who
is
played
Italian.
Obama in their
Oh,
other
that's-
movie is Italian.
Yes.
That
no,
explains
that's
all
the
the
same
fascism,
guy.
yeah.
Which
It's the
which
producer.
just
He's
goes
the
to
producer.
prove Italians aren't white.
That's the whitest movie ever. What the fuck are you talking about?
So this producer made a movie called Obam Nude, which is like a critique of Obama.
And it's the most like hit piece critique of Obama I've ever seen.
The main
That
character
move-
who's supposed to represent him just spends the first part of the movie just smoking crack and doing marijuana.
Yes. With the main character,
Based.
by the way,
That's my
is
president.
the producer and writer of both Life Zone and Obam Nude. He's the whitest man alive.
The whitest Italian ever. He must have come from far north Sicily.
And he plays Obama. Anyway, there's a scene from that movie in this movie. Just like the characters watch a scene from that movie in this movie.
Gotta reuse the footage.
And
Yeah, I've spent $1 million on Karate Kid. We gotta recoup some losses here.
and it's my favorite scene because it's just like a highlight reel for the producer to be like, look how much I've owned these libs.
The whitest Italian ever. He must have come from far north Sicily.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got. I've spent $1 million on Karate Kid. We gotta recoup some losses here.
And it's my favorite scene because it's just like a highlight reel for the producer to be like, look how much I've owned these libs. and just the idea of it kills me.
This movie's very self-congratulatory. Like, they'll play like a clip and then just be like, God, we owned them all.
Yeah, for a movie that is against abortion, it really likes to suck itself off. I don't know.
So, Moth, what is your favorite scene?
Well, I need to talk about something real quick here, because I used to be a huge fan of Maddox before Dick Masterson got his ex-girlfriend pregnant and he went off the deep end. Maddox was in a movie called, like, I think The Curse of Bloodfart Lake or something, or, like, Big Voodoo Big Time Puppet Show or
It's
something.
called The Curse of Blood Rubies, and it is the second Dragon Ball movie.
But, yeah, he was in a movie, and he was doing this thing where they had, like, 3 bags of chips because they had to keep reshooting the scene in, like, the Louisiana bayou. And this dude, like, didn't drink a glass of water, and they had to redo this take, like, 30 times, and he was just eating chips out of a bag every single time. And he's like, by the 12th take, this dude was bright red and sweating profusely. He was, like, through the first bag already. And we're talking, like, the family size, like, party bags. He's like, yeah, so we had to reshoot this 30 times, and he went through all 3 bags, and he had to go to the hospital afterwards. And the reason I bring that up is because during the sequence where the Italian writer and director is, like, giving a narration on why abortion is bad, not only is he eating eggs, which is the most ironic thing I can think of, he's eating eggs, like, while doing the sequence, and I'm like, if they screw up the sequence once, he has to eat another egg. Like, you have to eat all the eggs.
Sorry, go ahead.
Why are you doing this?
It's a metaphor.
I'll tell you my favorite sequence in a moment, but yeah, go ahead.
So for reference, in like film and TV, if it's made by people who actually know what they're doing, they have a spit bucket that they spit the food into between camera cuts or between takes. They don't actually swallow the food.
That's disgusting, because then you have to get your chewed food out of the bucket again for the next take.
Shut the fuck up, Moth.
So, my favorite sequence in the movie was actually the Bill Murray sequence.
Oh my god!
So as we mentioned, throughout this movie, like, the girls' families, like, get to send them, like, and this is why I said, like, any crime scene investigator could find these people. But, you know, we're in the Bible Belt, so, like, the cops are cool with women getting kidnapped as long as they give birth. So every one of their parents are, like, family members are like, you know, I'm so proud of you for deciding to keep this baby. And the girl, the obviously youngest girl, who's like, you know, her father gets on the line to talk to her, and he's like, hey, they're only letting one of us talk to you, but I want you to know your mother and I love you, even if you're a single mom. And and here's what we did. We made it so the room right next to yours is now a baby's room. So you can come home and raise your raise your baby in a room, like, under a roof where you're not gonna have to worry about anything, and we're gonna help you. We're gonna be supportive parents. And then, like, he twists. He's like, by the way, I had a private one-on-one, man-to-man with the father, and he's gonna step up. And you're getting, like, these, like, very, like, heavy, or I'm going to kill him vibes. And honestly, we were talking about, like, that was probably the most redeeming sequence in the entire movie. Is
And
just
then
like
it's
this
fake.
girl's.
It's a fake hell parent.
Yeah, and, like, the demon hell parent is a better parent than most Bible Belt parents. Like,
I don't know
Honestly,
where that
to the-
stands on the morality scale. I can't tell who's supposed to be the good guy or the bad guy in this movie. I don't know who has the high ground morally. They're all, like, in the same realm of just, it doesn't matter.
Look, Lardo, there are only 2 ways to interpret this movie. Either Christians are the Satanist sect and they need to be eradicated, or Satan did nothing wrong. Pick your poison.
I think a scarier ending to this movie would be she delivers the baby, and then the doctor comes over and gives her the hospital bill for all 3 women.
but yeah, like, so honestly, I was really impressed with that sequence, because, like, that's how you should react to unexpected pregnancies. Like, you need to step up as a grandparent and be supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like that sequence. The other sequence, the freaking Keemstar moment, just, I just, the fact that they got, like, Siegfried from Siegfried and Roy to, like, show up and be like, your eggs are gone. I need a younger woman. You got no eggs.
This shit was
You got no eggs.
I want to
Okay,
say,
Stephen Molyneux.
true. I want to say, by the way, we talked about the Keemstar thing. we're talking about this movie as if, like, we keep saying nothing happens, but to put it in perspective, when Moth mentioned the Keemstar thing, and Tito was just like, I don't know who Keemstar is, we then spent 10 minutes...
10 minutes?
Looking for it, and we missed nothing. When we came back, it was the exact same shot, I think, actually.
So
Like,
there's about 40 minutes of unique footage in this movie.
Yeah.
I think we should give special shout out to the scene before the Keemstar scene of the doctor's parents. Yeah, well, I think we were already talking about it. The doctor's
Yeah, we're
parents
talking about
yelling
her
at
just
her.
yelling at her for... Just the whole movie was basically, you ain't got no eggs.
What do you mean it's not
eating
your
the eggs.
fault? I never saw you eat a salad.
Yeah, I never saw you eat a salad. I never saw you work out. You never got enough sleep. You were a career woman. Like, every reason a woman can't get pregnant is from, like, the most patriarchal viewpoint. And I can't believe I'm using the word patriarchy unironically here, but, like,
It's the
this
best way
movie...
to say it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Welcome to
The
hell.
other two Satan women who were supposed to have, like, they're supposed to represent, like, a happy birth, were both had boys.
Wait, no. Okay, I'm sorry. Speaking of patriarchy, we completely forgot this. At the beginning of the movie, the doctor goes, for our test, we purposely chose 3 very intelligent women. And so they try to do, like, this feminist angle throughout the entire movie. Like, the anti-baby lady, the one who's real, goes, you stand against femininity. You don't stand for women's rights. And the doctor goes, I am a woman, though. She's just like, you're just using it as a crutch. Like, there's a weird, like, feminist angle throughout the movie, contrasted with hardcore misogyny.
No,
Okay.
but this is the thing, though. Like, this is the same thing. This is the logic a lot of people use. Like, when a black guy votes for Trump and they call him an Uncle Tom. Like, it's the same thing where it's like, oh, you're a woman who doesn't believe in abortion? You've been brainwashed by the patriarchy. It's like, no, you can have different viewpoints and not be brainwashed.
Yeah.
But the point about intelligent woman, I think, is the perfect moment to bring in the best line in the movie.
We'll talk, okay, so
On
we'll do the
free.
best line in the
Sure.
movie, and then we'll do...
On free.
So no. Like, so what had happened? Because like it's all a haze for me, but I think they had just gotten done watching one of the family members.
Yes.
It was the lawyer. The lawyer's like boyfriend. We got to talk about that scene too. Holy
No,
crap.
it was
Yeah,
after
for-
the CBN debates.
Oh,
It was right after
the-
that.
No, it wasn't after. Was it after CBN or was it after like the pop star who admitted to having
This
an abortion?
movie is a blur.
It's all the
Who
exact same
cares?
thing. They come back to the exact same couch 20 times. It doesn't matter. It just happened.
All right,
the casting couch.
But let's after that we got to talk about the lawyer's husband.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I'll just, you know what? I'm gonna give the honor on this one to Lardo. Lardo, please say the best quote in the movie, and we'll then dissect it.
Okay, so basically, Hell Satan, Lucifer, goes on the TV screen again, and it's like... And all the women are, like, eating sandwiches. Like, eating, like, a lot. Like, they're just, like, ripping the bread off, just tearing into it like a golden corral. And he goes on, and he's just like, why don't you guys get what the movies are trying to tell you? That's the thing. You pregnant woman, always eating, never thinking. And we lost it. We were not expecting... We weren't ready, and we all just lost it.
It's the
And so
way
I
he
just got
says it.
fish slapped by a placenta there.
It's the way he says it too. He just goes, "Pregnant women always eating, never thinking."
he's so aggressive about it. And, like,
Boy,
they
I
just
have never...
They don't
I've
even, like...
never heard a guy deliver a line with so much and yet so little punctuation at the same time.
He felt it. He felt that. That one came from the heart.
And the thing is, I know for a fact the movie kept going. Like, they didn't let that sink in at all. But we just couldn't, like, go back to the movie for a second. We had to spend time just laughing at it.
Yeah, we fucking cackled for like 5 minutes straight. It's great.
Just pregnant women, always eating and never thinking.
He's like, that's the thing with you pregnant women. Like, it was so, like, matter of fact, but also aggressive. Like, he was so confident.
Yeah, so then we had the other sequence, and really, like, we have to understand, we are highlighting the movie here because of a 75-minute movie, about 30 minutes are spent with them just, like, talking to each other on a couch.
About fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, about nothing. Like, they actually have the same conversation from the very beginning of the movie 4 times.
Yeah,
which
like-
is like, I have Roe versus Wade on my side. And then 10 minutes later,
Yeah.
I have Roe versus Wade on my side.
Also, the fact that like just before we get to the finale and all of them delivering the baby at the same time, they go through a fucking trivia game that has no relation to anything at all. Like, what the fuck? fuck?
They're just like,
They
yeah,
were
who was the
literally-
baseball star that hit the fastball in the Lakers stadium? Huh?
It was me in that coach.
It's also they could have that trivia question about the award-winning actor that's in their movie.
Well, then, if you notice, only the girl in hell knows anything about trivia.
Oh my god, it gets
That's
better with each rewatch.
Dude,
Also,
it's
I'm
one of
in
those
hell.
things where they've been hinting the entire time that she's the only one that matters.
Yep.
That's kind of
Because
that's kind of, I don't know. I was gonna say that's kind of cool, but it really isn't. That's kind of they
Like,
they
the
tried.
kneecapping is perfect.
That's kind of
honestly,
warm.
It was incompetent directing with a phenomenal concept. Like,
yeah.
No.
It's like you have a script written out. You're like, okay, the plot twist is 2 of them are in hell. We are going to give you hints that the only 2 characters that matter are the doctor and the woman with twins. And we're going to give you subtle hints throughout the movie, and then they botch it. Because the hints are there, and if you're paying attention, you'll notice them. But they just totally botch the hints.
But why
And
would you
don't
pay
know-
attention to this movie when it's so fucking boring?
Yeah, no. The thing is, Moth, I think it does help that like we didn't know how to pay attention to that because that twist was so out of nowhere that I don't think we could have like predicted that. Honestly,
but honestly, it was still one of the best twists I've ever seen in my life.
absolutely. M. Night Shyamalan should quit.
Yeah, no kidding.
so
No, but that twist is like the equivalent of meeting your family for, let's say, Christmas or Easter or whatever, eating and talking about nothing for the whole day, and at the end your grandma says, "Oh yeah, your grandpa was in the Auschwitz commando." Like, what?
it's like going. It's like your friend invited you to like a barbecue, and everyone around you is like the most boring person you've ever met, and then you grab the ribs, and then you look up, and everyone's putting on hoods, and there's a burning cross.
I want to say, by the way, we should probably talk about the dream sequences.
Oh my
No.
gosh. No, really. I mean, the first one wasn't great because it was like every bad like History Channel documentary, but the
No,
second
but it was
one,
really funny though because okay, so the first sequence it's supposed to be like the second one is a bit more like literal, like where they just like say like, oh, the people who are pro-abortion are brainwashed. But the first one is so nonsensical that it really stood out because okay, so what it did is it pitch shifted it to like black and white, like a montage, and it like showed like different things like, oh, a lady with a needle in her arm or a bunch of like millipedes and such. And then it showed a swastika for some reason. And then it cut to 2 different shots of Nosferatu just out of nowhere.
Oh
And
yeah,
it was just this whole thing of just like a bunch of shots that like probably meant something. The only one that I get is like the drug one because they bring that up later when they say that love is worse than heroin. But like nothing else about it like matters at all. It was just like I want to be artsy.
Man,
Can we
I
also-
fucking forgot about the Nazi Ferratu. I'm sorry.
Can we also just talk about the fact that the only time any ethnic minorities show up in the movie, they're like screaming that you should get an abortion?
Oh
True.
no! There's one that shows up earlier in the movie. It's during the first dream sequence.
What? Nosferatu?
No,
Nosferatu is a powerful person of color. He's notable in the community.
no. There's like random shots of just like African tribesmen. In that.
Oh no!
dream
The
sequence.
best part is like the very first sequence they make him watch on TV. They just like ask a 7-year-old child, "Should you get an abortion?" And the kid like looks horrified at the camera and is like, "I need to talk to my parents."
I need to talk to my parents.
Oh,
All right, I got it.
we gotta go for
Oh,
our
go ahead.
favorite line still.
No, like honestly, that's the only line that matters. That's the only line I remember.
But I
the
have
entire
other ones
movie.
that I really like.
All right,
like the
go ahead.
abortion
Go ahead,
take.
Lardo. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lardo. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lardo.
Go ahead, Lardo.
Go ahead, Lardo.
The abortion think tank line.
Oh my god! I completely forgot.
Dude, I don't even remember that line.
I put it in episode notes. Hold on. They go. Oh my god. They go. Okay. So the doctor goes. We're gonna do something that no one has ever done before. That no one has ever had the chance to. We're gonna have an abortion think tank. And there's no more to that. She doesn't expand on that. She just says that, and then they just repeat like a fetus line about like when does the fetus become a baby. It just completely
gosh.
out of nowhere.
So I just remembered because this was a huge issue at the very beginning of the movie. I think they shot their audio mixer halfway through the movie. Because the very beginning of the movie, they're having legitimate conversations, and we couldn't hear a single word because the music track was overriding everything.
Yep.
Like, the first 15 minutes of the movie, the reason we don't remember any of it is because we couldn't hear a single word of dialogue.
Yeah,
But
it
the
sounded
moment-
like...
Yeah. But the moment one of the women have to walk barefoot on the wet floor there, the sound is perfect. Like,
You
it
just
really
hear
makes you think.
perfect slapping of bare
Yeah.
feet on tile.
Yep.
And the audio gets fixed. Also, another standout line to me was the doctor walks in and meets all the women and gets to the one that's like the real one. It gets yes, the strongest of the three.
The strongest of the three.
Like she's a shonen protagonist.
Also, can we talk about the fact that the woman was killed by a doctor during malpractice and ended up in hell for it?
Kind of.
Yeah, because she was getting an abortion.
Yeah, she's getting.
Yeah.
Well, okay, still, like...
That's her fault.
I feel like if you get murdered, that shouldn't be a one-way ticket to hell.
Sorry, I don't make the
I'll
rules.
cry
say
about
this.
it.
I do.
Even Jesus was in shell for 3 days. You gotta respect that.
I need to talk about there's two other sequences that stand out in this movie, and we'll talk about them when we'll be done. The lawyer's husband. So what was so jarring about this is they're doing the family interviews, and you have like the Brooklyn dad, and he's like, "Yeah, tell you what, sweetie, you get home, we got the room ready for you, life's great."
Every
And
man
then
in
they
this movie
go-
is the most Italian man that's ever been alive.
Yeah, exactly. And then you jump to the lawyer's like boyfriend, husband, whatever, and he's in a Men's Warehouse, like the nicest suit they could get from Men's Warehouse, and he's in front of a Firebird, and I can't actually figure out if it's superimposed over him or he's superimposed over it or not. But then what was really weird to me is he's in front of an expensive Firebird, and the garage behind him is open, and it's so filled that you could not park a car in it. And then they're in front of this like. If this house was where like Mike lives in Ohio or whatever, it would be like an $80,000 house. And this is supposed to be the best lawyer in the city.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if y'all have ever been to the Quad Cities.
I don't know
Is
if the
that
Quad
a real
Cities
thing?
means.
Yeah, so the Quad Cities are 4 cities in, I think, Illinois that are all so close together. Your next door neighbor could be technically in a different city.
Oh, so it's kind of like Anchorage and Eagle River.
Oh, I guess so.
Oh, so it's like the Tricity in Poland. Okay, yeah, we got those two.
Yeah. So it looks like and like that's where my dad grew up. So I've been there a couple of times.
I'm sure there's no gerrymandering there.
Oh yeah, no, of course not.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, it just
but
looks
yeah.
like one of the houses from the Quad Cities.
And you know those houses aren't worth more than $150.
No.
Yeah, so I honestly wonder if they
dollars?
just like, yeah, $150,000. I honestly
no $150.
No, like you have to understand. So I'm gonna get political for a second here on a movie about abortions. So in America, and Canada has it too. There's actually a pandemic going on right now, where I think like 5 or 6 companies. I'm not sure how many, but the most notorious one is called like BlackRock or something, which sounds like a PMC. They are buying every house on the market right now, and they are offering home sellers $50,000 to like $75,000 above asking just to buy their house.
Yeah, Zillow does that. Zillow got in trouble for doing that.
Yeah, and so the problem we're running into here is like the cost of housing is going up exponentially, even though like wages aren't going up, because these companies, and they're running at a loss. They have like investors with deep pockets. They're running at a loss, and they're just buying houses and renting them. Like, we are reaching the point where we might as well be Central Europe in America, because the average millennial can't buy a house.
No.
And so I don't know why I went on that tangent right here, but like it's getting really weird. So when you're talking about a $150,000 home, like in America, all of us would love to buy a $150,000 home. We could all afford it on a 15-year like APR. We'd be fine. Like, no joke, houses that were $80,000 like 10 years ago are now $250,000 homes. My in-laws in Idaho bought a home for, I want to say, $180,000 in 2006, and I think they sold it for $4.
We are indeed in hell, but that's the only way this relates to the movie in any way.
Yeah, so sorry, like I had to go on this rant about housing because it is so bad right now. It's not even funny.
It's terrible in Poland as well. Like, we have this entire term of like pathol development, which pathological development, because they will go, oh yeah, we can sell you this wonderful one-room apartment that is like 2 cubic meters and it's 1 million zloty, so like $250,000. Like, what? Why are you fucking high?
That sounds like a New York apartment.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking
Are
horrible.
your roommates
You know,
rats?
Well, like something we don't do in America, we kind of do it with like duplexes and townhomes. But in Germany, you have apartments you can rent, and in the same building, you can take out a mortgage on the apartment next door. Because like Germany's like, hey, you know, we got a lot of people in a tiny area of land because after, you know, the Treaty of Versailles and everything, we got gypped. So we got a super high like population density in a super small area, but you can still have home ownership. You can buy the apartment you live in.
Yeah.
That's
And
base.
so like we don't do that in America at all.
No, we
Like, you
did,
can't
like-
buy an apartment.
like, so the
Neither
closest we
here.
get to that is like townhomes.
Yeah. And I'm not opposed to townhomes at all. Like I'm just saying
Townhomes
like,
are
the
cool.
housing situation sucks in America.
Yeah, no, it sucks. Alright, back to abortion.
Oh yeah, the
Feel-
last scene in the movie, all the ethnic minorities telling a woman to get an abortion.
Yeah, this is true. There's
Yeah.
Including the dude from Africa who would never say that.
Don't you mean the Middle East?
Oh yeah, well, okay.
Middle East is in
Middle East,
Asia.
Africa.
No, the Middle East is in Asia, bro.
Is it?
Yeah. Most of the Middle East
Continents
is
are fake.
Asian.
Let's start with that. The only real continents are Americas and Australia. Everything else is a blob.
Dude, there's like 3 continents, 4
Did
if
I
you count
cut off now?
Australia.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to say, by the way, there were, I want to say, 4 or 5 women in this movie. Only one of them wasn't barefoot.
Doctor.
Yeah, the doctor
Okay.
was the only one not barefoot, but the random love affair lady and all 3 of the main characters barefoot the entire time.
So
Yeah.
can we just really quick, just somebody, because I've been talking this whole time. Can somebody just explain the situation with the last nightmare before we cut this off?
So
Here, I want to. Oh, you go.
Oh,
you
no,
go,
you
Lardo.
go Lardo.
It's a globalist.
Okay,
Abortion is a globalist conspiracy. That's it.
Yes. Okay. So,
Yeah.
Moth, you said that the sound mixer got shot halfway through. The editor was aborted at the start of the movie, so they tried to do like one of those scenes where they have like the characters are crazy and like their heads are jumping all around, but they have it so that they stand completely static and only their head moves around a little bit, and it's like this really wide shot, and it's supposed to be like all these people going demon mode, and they just be like, you should get an abortion. It's like that one scene from Evangelion where they're all like surrounding Shinji, except instead of congratulating them, they're just like, you should abort the child, please. And they try to frame it-
Congratulations, abortion.
Congratulations, abortion. And they do this thing where they try to frame it like, oh, if someone's trying to say that they're pro-abortion, then they're brainwashing you. In the movie, that's about brainwashing the 3 people to be against abortions, by the way.
Well, okay. So I'm going to say something here.
Okay.
I picked this movie because it was a train wreck. I
Yes.
did not pick this movie to dab on Christians. I did not pick this movie to dab on anti-abortionists. Okay, there are some legitimately funny movies out there that are made by conservatives, and there are some legitimately good movies made by conservatives. Pretty much everything Mel Gibson has ever touched is gold. I mean, really, you have like conservatives can make good movies. This movie is a train wreck, and that's why I picked it. This was not a hit piece. This is not Moth like making a political statement or saying like, I needed to watch this abomination. Like, please, and that's why we did it. This is not a hit piece against anybody.
Yeah, I'll just push Moth aside here and say I'll point at this movie and say this is you.
So it's honestly, this movie still has the best twist I've ever seen in a movie in my whole life.
Pregnancy hell.
Nope. I think Earthbound is a better piece of media about abortion.
You mean Mother too?
Oh shit.
Yeah, Earthbound.
You guys want to discuss anything else, or is it just this movie?
Nope, I'm done.
So Dead Zone.
That's
Dead Zone, bad movie.
Is Dead Zone the one where they lock the immortal in the
Yeah.
hole?
Yeah,
it's the
Okay,
one where
yeah.
the child does LSD.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
the only good pre-super movie is like Cooler S, like the Return of Cooler.
Yeah, Cooler's cool. Cooler's
Cooler's
No,
cool.
like the Planet Cooler.
No,
is
that
the
movie
only good
fucking
Dragon Ball
sucks.
movie. Are you kidding me? Team 4-Star did a phenomenal version.
Yeah.
We're not
Yes.
counting Team 4-Star. We're counting real movies.
Meta Cooler sucks. Return of Cooler is a good movie.
Return of Cooler is the one with the Cooler planet.
No, it's not. Return of Cooler is the first Cooler movie. I know it's confusing.
How is that the Return of Cooler?
I don't know. I think we do need to talk about the Japanese name for Dead Zone, though.
You thought this was an anime podcast. Turns out
Shadow
it is.
Realm.
It's
No, this is so Mike is only going to let me do this every so often because he has explicitly stated that we cannot lose our center and our grounding as an anime podcast, but sometimes I just need to go off.
we brought it back, baby. But the Japanese name for Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone is Dragon Ball Z Give Me Back My Gohan.
Same. Also, wait, no, Pseudo, you're full of it. Return of Cooler is the Planet Cooler meta movie. You're thinking of Revenge of Cooler. That's the first one.
Okay, that's equally stupid.
But it's still a continuation. Oh yeah, Trunks killed Cooler. I forgot.
No, he didn't.
No, he killed
No, he killed King Cold.
And Frieza.
And
Can we just you know what like there's something about Eiichiro Oda and Akira Toriyama where they just name their characters the dumbest stuff on the planet and we just go with
Dead
it.
Zone has a
Like,
character named
hey,
Ginger, who's voiced
Also,
by
Garlic
Troy Baker.
Jr.
Here's my daughter. Her name is Smoothie. Here's my son. His name's Parfait. Like,
Okay, Big Mom Pirates or that is cheating using those names.
okay, but like thematically naming pirates has been something like Whitebeard, Blackbeard, Redbeard.
Yes, but that's not their
Goldbeard,
actual. Whitebeard is not his actual name. Her name is
Yes, it
actually
is.
Smooth. No, it's not. Have you seen the show? Whitebeard is
top
not
of that,
his
like-
name.
Okay, but like a lot of the freaking the admirals are all named a color associated with their devil fruit.
That's their nickname.
No, Aka Inu is his name.
That's his nickname. They have nicknames.
No, his name is literally Aka Inu.
Well, yeah,
Is
they
his
have.
name
I mean,
Straw Hat too, Moth? Is his name Straw Hat? Is his name Three Sword? Is his name Blackleg?
Sanji is a pun.
No.
I will give you that one though.
No.
Sanji's name is a
Aka
pun.
Inu is, yeah, because his family. Yeah, exactly. Once again, Yonji, Ryuji, like, yeah, okay, whatever. Fight me.
I mean, One Piece is silly
I watched the
names.
first 2 seasons of Slayers and it was really good.
All right, actually, did you hear though that the newest One Piece movie is going to be Red Hair?
Yeah, it's gonna be about
Yeah.
Shanks.
I'm so excited about
gonna
that
come
because
out in
like
August.
Shanks is probably the most mysterious character in all of One Piece.
Yeah.
Shanks is
I'll be pissed-
probably the most one-armed character in all of One Piece.
I'm gonna be
think my
pissed if he
biggest
turns
issue
out to be a
with-
villain. I'm gonna be actually pissed.
Oh, Luffy has to beat him at one
Well,
point.
yeah, but like not like I don't want him to be a villain. You know,
Well, no, not like Usopp's dad.
just the fuck.
No, Shanks has always annoyed me because you can tell that while Oda has figured out what he wants to do with the show, he didn't when he introduced Shanks. Because Shanks was kind of like a 50 million berry pirate when he was introduced. Like, he was like, yeah, I'm a pirate. I chill in the East Blue because I'm not a great pirate, but I'm a pirate. I want to make money selling devil fruits. I'm a pirate. And then he gets his arm beat off by, like, eaten off by a sea king.
So
And you're
before
like,
we derail
okay.
this into One Piece lore, do we have any last comments on Abortion, the movie?
No, I'm done.
I feel like a lot of anime stories could be solved by just aborting something. But yes, go on about One Piece.
You mean Portugal DAs?
If we aborted Baby Jesus, this movie wouldn't have happened.
If we aborted Eren Yeager, I feel like it would have solved a lot of things.
He could have aborted himself, that's the
Well, you-
most
you
likely
know
way.
what?
He could have just said, Grisha, get an abortion, push her down the stairs.
You know what? You know what Aaron said to one of the members of the Ranger Corps right before he died, right?
I don't know shit about.
That's a
Attack on
very
Titan.
vague
He
sentence.
he said, "Mi casa is now your casa."
Oh my god.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.